Here we have the Shelby County project being shipped to Shelby County, Texas. This is an S40 by 16, so it's two 8-foot wide by 40-foot long decks placed side by side. The colors are standard boxcar brown color. The guardrails are standard GV10 guardrails designed just for vehicular use, not for pedestrian use. Like most of our vehicular and combination vehicular pedestrian guardrails, it uses a W6 post and a 8x2 tube running all the way down. This one doesn't have any infill, so it's not safe for pedestrians to walk down this. Little kids can fall through, so this is just an industrial type of guardrail where it's not going to see any pedestrian use. This bridge also has what we call an angle iron decking. This is needed if the weight capacity of the bridge is needed to be over 100,000 pounds typically. I think so. This one's about 120 or 140,000 pound capacity. I don't remember exactly, but it's a pretty heavy duty bridge. So you see we weld these angles like little mountain peaks all the way down, right? If you were to drive on this just as is, it'll be a very bumpy ride. So they'll actually fill this up with gravel all the way down to make a nice smooth ride. When they fill it in with gravel, that's why we have over on this other end over here, we have this flat bar as a gravel retainer, and they just get welded right to the inside of those posts. Okay, turns out pretty nice. These posts are W6 posts, and you can see they come down, and there's also an angle or a kicker right up underneath there that goes all the way across to the next I-beam to help transfer that energy if a vehicle ever hits this. So there's quite a bit of work to do these vehicular guardrails. Now going back to this deck, whenever these two decks get placed side by side, you can see that some of these angles are beveled, right? That one's beveled. Then we have that one over there is beveled, beveled, beveled. You can see, you kind of see where the light shines that they're all beveled. The other deck is going to be exactly the same way. So whenever these two decks meet up, this is going to be beveled and the one next to it's going to be beveled as well. They're beveled, that way we can butt weld them, or the installation contractor can weld these, and it locks these two bridges in place. Okay. There's also going to be, so everywhere that it's beveled, these need to be welded up. Okay. There's also going to be some more of that same 6x6 angle iron, 1/2 inch thick, about 2 foot long. Those get shipped loose, and those get welded up underneath the bottom side of this beam, all the way across to the next deck that sits underneath it. What that's going to help it do is help these two decks deflect at the same rate when a heavy vehicle drives across this thing. So there'll be a few extra pieces that ship with this bridge. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about real quick is how to lift these up and set them in place. On our side, we're going to load these up with a forklift, but once it gets to your site or to the delivery site, how are you going to lift it up? The first one, you're just going to want a basket. So you'll wrap a strap around the entire thing or a chain around the entire bridge, and you'll lift up the entire thing that way, set it in place. Okay. These are the bearing plates here. There's a rubber pad that goes right up underneath. You see how this has a slot? The rubber pad's going to have a slot too that slides up underneath this, and you'll you put your bolt through that. All right. So the first one gets basketed into place. The second one, since these are getting placed really tight, there's really no room to basket because your strap's going to be going across here, so you can't really basket it. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to send out an extra set. These are actually the same kind of bearing assemblies you see over here, right? So we're going to send 4 of these out with the bridge. Okay, so it's a 6x6 angle iron. You can see that there with these gussets in place. Now these you can apply to wherever you want them to be at in order to lift up the bridge, and that's between you and the crane company. If you want to send them, just like that, weld them in place in the field. Some people do that, so you'll run a bead of weld here, you run a bead of weld over on this other side, and then this makes for an excellent lift point. You get your shackle, you'll drop your shackle inside there and drop a bolt through there. Now, this hole may or may not be big enough to do that, so you may want to bring a torch out there to oversize this hole. to set it in place. Okay, that's however you want to do that. So that's how it looks. So these 4 of these will get shipped loose, and where you put these at, you know, it depends on where the crane wants to set them at. Sometimes they want from the center of the bridge, they want, you know, set 10 foot back, so an overall 20-foot pick. Sometimes they want to go 15 foot back, so you'll have a 30-foot overall pick. We don't know what your crane company is going to want to do, so we don't want to apply them on our side. Some people will actually put these, you know, on the very end of the bridge. See if I can hold this up. This is kind of heavy. Some people will set these on the very end of the bridge here like this, right? And weld them on, and then run a cable through there. And then you don't have to cut them off if you do it like this. You can set these on there and backfill right up against it. But sometimes crane guys don't want to use it. Don't want their straps to go that far. There's too many variables when it comes to cranes. But you'll get 4 of those. You apply them wherever you want to in order to lift the bridge. And that's about it. Let's take a walk around. I'll show you the rest of this bridge. You can see that's beveled, that one's beveled, that's beveled. Looks pretty sharp. Let's walk over to the next one. Show you what that looks like. You can see here those angles there. Those are the kickers that go to the post. So the post kicker comes out, and those get welded up. Bearing plates at the bottom there. You got some nice bearing plates. You got some nice vehicular guardrails. All right. Now, we also, whenever we're applying the this flat bar gravel retainer, we will round these corners off. That way, if a vehicle ever decides to drive way over here, it doesn't puncture a tire. Okay, so that gets nice and rounded off. And that's all there is to it.